Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Generous Critic. Today we're going to be having a look at the new Super Cat Tales 2 update, so let's go ahead and get into that. Yeah, this isn't the big episode I promised last time, but that was just too ambitious for me, so maybe I will have that in episode 20. We'll see though. I'll be splitting this review up into a few parts, and those parts are as follows. That is introduction, gameplay, graphics, personality, problems, ending, call to action, and summary. So without further ado, let's get started. I did an episode on this game back in episode 3, and I guess also episode 1, but that was in the first game. If you didn't watch that video, here's the rundown. The first update had a few issues, but was overall a very well-crafted experience, albeit unexpectedly a cliffhanger ending. In this episode, I'd like to revise some of my previous points. The game was developed by the Neutronized team, same as before, and this time was self-published instead of being published by another company such as FDG or Nitrome. Update 2.0 was released unexpectedly on Wednesday, April 17th at around 1 o'clock p.m. How do I know that? Because I was the first to announce it. Haha, yes! Validate me, yes! Anyway, that's about it for an introduction. If you want a more in-depth introduction, feel free to check out my previous video, which should be in the cards. The gameplay in this update is the same as it was before, just this time you have new bosses, new items, new cats that shake up gameplay. This is slightly spoiler territory, but this isn't really major spoiler stuff yet, so if you haven't played the update, you're probably okay for now. Unless you really want to go in blind, then, I'd recommend you stop here and play the update. It's free. The new cats are Luna, Ollie, and Amy. Luna's ability, albeit not particularly useful, is the ability to stand still and not get hurt, which isn't so useful because it doesn't work on bosses. She's also very light, which tends to be what I use her for. Ollie's smear frames are literally McMeow, which makes sense because he's basically a lighter stand-in McMeow. He does all the stuff that McMeow does, but better. Side note on the smear frames, that was actually confirmed to be intentional by Neutronized on Discord and also in his latest update video. With that, I'm thinking that McMeow might actually be dead. Amy's ability is the same as the first game, just used more often here. You'll find passageways quite a bit after it's possible to acquire Amy. That's somewhere in World 5, I don't remember where. We still have 2 character slots still open though, just like the first game. I'm not sure those cats will be, but I'm excited. I'm thinking maybe one of them will be Brutus, but I'm actually not even sure of that. This update, the game has tons of new graphics, all of which are really gorgeous this time around. I love how each different area has a completely different color palette, making all of them easily distinguishable, just like the first game did. Speaking of the first game, we may be seeing a remake of the first game in the future. The graphics here are all really, they follow one style, which is difficult for many artists, but it's really pulled off here, and it's done just so well. That's all I have to say about graphics. If you want to hear more, then you can watch my first review, even if it is pretty cringy. In this update, the characters had even more dialogue. As the game grows, the characters grow with it. Since the beginning of the game, and since the first game especially, the characters have grown more likable and easier to follow. Even if the characters are rather one-sided, that's okay here. They don't so much need to have depth because they're not perfect, and that's clear right off the bat. The characters, not having anything supernatural about them, are instantly humanized by their triumphs and their struggles. Okay, I have a whole bunch of problems with this game. Ready? Go. It's too long, it's too fun, it's too replayable, it's too intriguing, Wait, I think these are just compliments disguised as complaints. Okay, well, really my only problem is that premium users can't watch an ad to respawn, but that's not really much of a problem. So long as you have coins, I can live with it. Alright, gripe time. Or is it? I can't believe it, but this is actually a Neutronized ending I really liked. Major spoilers ahead, so tread carefully. This was another to-be-continued cliffhanger chapter, but the actual ending gave me chills. I knew dark matter would show up somewhere, but I didn't know it would be in the last few seconds. I also expected Iridium to survive that fall. That would certainly be a cliche. But look at him. He is very, very dead. He's in pieces, man. Okay, Rio Gripe time. The Lord Iridium boss fight. This fight, I felt inspired, yet difficult. The execution was a bit strange, with the phases specifically where he walks fast. Sometimes it's completely impossible to avoid dying. Other than that, it was a good boss. Just needs a nerf, if you ask me. Ready for the new ending in Update 3.0. Will that be the final ending? I guess we'll find out. Okay, you've heard me ramble on about why I like this game, but it's time I ask something of you. Jonathan, the guy who made this game, works really, really hard on these games. He's a good guy, following his passion, and I ask that any of you watching this that can, please, please, please buy Premium. It's a simple $5, and after that, you get quite a few perks, actually. Not to mention, there could be a paywall in the next update, so you're going to need Premium for that. If there is, I don't know if there will be. Seriously, don't be lazy. If you can, please, please buy Premium. It's a simple one-time purchase, and it really helps Jonathan out. In conclusion, Super Cat Tales 2 Part 2 is a game developed by Neutronized's very own Jonathan Pezzarezzi. Is that right? And was released on April 17th of 2019. The gameplay is immersive, with more cats and items this time. The graphics were wonderful, the game had more personality this time, and it had very few problems except for the final boss, and the ending was really cool. Also, please, if you can, purchase Premium. Super excited for the next update. Super Cat Tales 2 Update 2 gets a solid A. Hey, you made it through the video. You should subscribe. Or maybe don't. I'm not your dad. But maybe do. Remember to drive safe, spread good vibes, and always keep your hands at 10 and 2.